Hey, how's it going, guys? I'm Paradoxic, and we are back. Welcome back to Marvel's WandaVision. We are back with some more WandaVision, this time on to episode 5 of season 1. Last time, we got a bit more of a present-day episode, a bit more of a present-day episode with still some flashback content. We got an original, an official introduction to present day Monica Rambeau. The episode literally opened up in a heavy tone. We literally saw her actually being reformed along with others after the result of Bruce's snap in Endgame. But she woke up to the rather devastating news that her mother did not. Her mother wasn't even snapped away to begin with. Her mother actually stayed here with the survivors, but she was a cancer patient in hospital. So I think she had like a surgery, and then the cancer all looked like everything looked okay. The cancer seemed to have gone, but then it came back during the snap 2 years after Monica disappeared, and then her mother passed away from that. So we've lost we've lost Maria Rambeau. And I think since then I've seen theories circulating social media of people wondering now as to like whether or not Carol was not seen or referenced during Endgame having reunited with at least with Maria, because of the fact that, for one thing, she lost Fury and Monica to the snap, and then Maria was dying in hospital, so maybe Carol just kind of distanced herself from that to kind of not have to deal with as much emotional pain, which, I mean, I get that, but at the same time, like, just seeing how like, just what their relationship together was like in Captain Marvel, it's like, you'd still want to see something. Like, and like, knowing Carol, I think knowing Carol, she already has that. I think because of her powers and because of how slow she ages, she already has that, like, kind of first-hand emotional baggage of actually knowing that everyone else around her, or at least most people around her that she connects to, are just gonna be regular humans, and they're gonna grow old and die at the regular human pace, and she's gonna be, just kind of just lasting for years and years and stuff. So because of that, and also because of the snap, like her point in Endgame still stood, that more planets than Earth were still suffering from the effects of the snap, so she had to help them too. So there's a lot of different kind of like opinions on like exactly how they handled Carol's presence in Endgame, and whether or not that was actually linked to what was revealed in last week's WandaVision. So I don't know, but we lost Maria and but before that happened, Maria was like Peggy. She actually, she used what little resources and strength she had left in life to actually build Sword. She actually built Sword, which is the new Shield essentially. It's the new kind of government agency. I think it's like, I can't remember what it stands for. I don't know if I wrote it down last time. I can't remember what it stands for. Like, sentient weapons, um, sentient operations observation response division. I think I don't know if I actually wrote it down last week, but I think it's definitely sentient weapons. That's the first two kind of letters. No, that's episode 2. That's episode 3. There's episode 4, I think. Nope, I didn't even write it down. I think it's like sentient weapons observation, or like response division. Like I know the other word, the other letters are there, but the O, I think it could be like observation or operations or something like that. But it's to do with sentient weapons, and especially after the snap, they deal with more like threats that could come from outer space to try and attack the Earth. So yeah, it's basically like the new Shield, and we know that Fury is still out there building that kind of space station that Sword is going to be. So yeah, so now we officially have Sword. So I don't know if there are going to be any existing characters right now going into Phase 4 of the MCU that might be a part of Sword, or if they might use Sword to bring in some new, fresh faces that are part of the agency, or what's going to happen. But it should be a fun time, and now we know that, like, especially since Maria kind of cemented the protocol that any kind of any people returning from the snap, especially Monica being one of them, would be grounded, like, at least for a good while, to Earth missions only, to actually get them refamiliarized with how things work and refamiliarized to life as well. So yeah, so she won't be heading up into space anytime soon, but soon enough, sooner down the line. So yeah, so then she actually caught on to the missing persons case in, I think it was Westview, Westview, New Jersey, and she met up with Detective Jimmy Woo too. We actually met Jimmy again from Ant-Man and the Wasp, and he had the card trick ready to go. He's mastered the card trick. So he had that, and then she disappeared right from the get-go. She actually got sucked into Wanda's little kind of reality bubble right from the get-go. So then they actually had to set up camp outside the town and employ more kind of, smart-brained people. One of them being Dr. Darcy Lewis of astrophysics. Darcy actually, became a doctor. She actually got, her own qualifications, and she, strove for a field that she actually, wanted to participate in, so that was cool. And we actually got to see some fun moments between Darcy and Jimmy, so that was fun. But yeah, I think last episode was literally just like more of a look from the outside in, seeing how everyone was actually monitoring the town and seeing how they actually watched the WandaVision thing like it was an actual sitcom on like a vintage TV, and Darcy put everything together and stuff, so it was really, really cool. But by the end of it, we saw how Wanda actually kicked Monica out, and she literally power blasted her through 4 or 5 different walls, and then out through the bubble that was Wanda's alternate reality. So yeah, and then by the end of it, Monica branded it that it was all Wanda doing this. So power-wise, I think so. I think motivation-wise, I also think so. But I think it's also kind of too early to rule out anyone else or anything else being at play here. Maybe someone else kind of allowing this to happen, or maybe even her creating an alternate reality like on her own could also breach the walls of reality or dimensions or whatever somehow, and just constantly thinking about how how this could possibly connect into Doctor Strange 2, because it does. It's been confirmed it already does. So yeah, I mean, I'm trying not to theorize too hard in case I actually kind of unintentionally spoil things for myself, but you can't help it with these things. These things leave so many clues and breadcrumbs, and you can't help pick them up. So yeah, but it was some fun stuff. And right at the very end, we had some horror movie, like pure horror movie material, with a glimpse of dead Vision. So Vision is there, but he also isn't there. He's not there in the usual colourful Mind Stone form that we used to see him as, but he is there walking around like a dead body with a, black and white skin, and just like a crushed hole in his head where Thanos plucked the Infinity Stone from. So I think that might be the one, like, besides from the people there, because the people are real. The people were mind controlled by Wanda, and they've been given new names and new identities. But Vision is there, but just probably his like dead body being reanimated by Wanda and being forced to live out this kind of fake life. So yeah, last episode was crazy. Last episode was beyond crazy. So I can only imagine things get even crazier from here on out. But yeah, that is it. That is pretty much everything I've picked up from the last one. So on to episode 5 of Marvel's WandaVision. And as always, this will be the highlight reel of reaction. So if you guys want to catch the full-length reaction, the absolute unedited kind of reaction for this episode, and watch it along with me, you can catch that one over at Patreon. Link will be in the comments and the description, so that will be fun too. But yeah, let's go. Marvel's WandaVision, episode 5. Let's go.
If you go to sleep, I promise you will be my favorite twin.
Don't play favorites with the kids. That's just gonna lead to lifetimes of rivalry.
Go to sleep, my babies.
No, magic hurts even harder. Magic makes it even worse.
Do you want me to take that again?
Take what again?
Should we just take it from the top?
Take it from the top? Oh, redo the scene, you mean? Redo the scene. The take 2.
Don't be silly.
Mommy? Daddy?
They grew up that quick? Jeez, they're like the Olsen twins.
Can't control.
They're like the Olsen twins.
No matter how hard you try.
Is that what this is meant to be? Is this meant to be the Fuller House parody? I kind of get that feeling. And then you got 2 twin boys, yeah. I'm getting Olsen twins vibes from this, yeah. Flannel. Oh my god, a baby Vision. A baby Vision.
This is Dr. Darcy Lewis. She's the one who discovered the broadcast.
Monica, I know.
Big fan.
We're gonna need to take these
That's a
again.
mood.
There's something
Yeah.
wrong with the machine.
Darcy is the fangirl in all of us being,
Well, what about
you
the
know,
guys?
portrayed in all of this. Yeah.
No.
Does Maximoff have an alias?
Scarlet Witch.
No, sir.
Scarlet
funny nickname?
Scarlet Witch.
One.
Scarlet
And
Witch.
earliest tracking had her using her powers against the Avengers. Is that correct?
Right before
She's the
she earned
Scarlet
their
Witch.
trust and became one herself.
Bring up the visual.
The visual? Oh god, what visual is this?
This morning, I received authorization to share this highly sensitive material from Sword Headquarters. It was the top secret location of the Vision's.
Oh, she stole Vision's corpse. She broke out Vision's corpse. Yeah. Is his body dismembered? Like his torso's in one place and his head's in
9
another?
days ago.
Oh no, Mommy's coming.
Oh no.
You know, I don't miss
Flannel
the
is
kind,
such
but
a
geez
great look. The
Louise, did you have to learn to
suspenders, the
walk?
hair.
You two
Damn,
never
Wanda
say
Maximoff, damn. Ugh.
Unless you're innocent. Your father and I don't think you're ready to properly care for an animal until you're at least 10 years old.
How old are they now? Like 5? Halfway there? Oh, they're just gonna grow up even more. They're gonna grow up into 10-year-olds even more.
Let's just hope this dog stays the same size. Wait, what's a hex?
Oh, it's what I'm calling the anomaly because of its hexagonal shape.
Oh, the
It's starting to
hex.
catch on.
The hex.
If you really want to go back in there, all the sets and props and wardrobe were solid matter. That would mean she's wielding an insane amount of power.
She is a powerhouse.
In the past.
Yeah, Wanda is
She could've taken out
powerful,
Thanos on
people.
her own if he hadn't initiated a blitz.
Thank you.
Close.
Monica Rambeau is the MVP of this episode. She's brain power
Her
wise.
powers came
Yeah.
from the Infinity Stone too, right?
If she can change things as they go into the hex,
Yeah.
Ah, you called it the hex.
what happens if we send something in that requires no change?
Oh, that old modem sound. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't know it, but the old modem sound. Oh, damn.
Please.
Harby something.
Is it? How long has it been?
Yeah.
Where's my phone? I have to call my sister. Does it make or stop?
And
Now
now
tell me
Norm.
this.
And now
If
Norm's
I
back.
send an email, where would I put the stamp?
Okay, the actor is good. The actor for Norm is pretty damn good.
It's Saturday.
No, it's not. It's Monday.
This morning was Saturday.
Oh, you two
There
grew up
was
quick,
an
so yeah,
emergency at
it's
the
a
office
Monday.
And your father had to go
Yeah.
in. End of story.
Do you have a brother, Mom?
Oh god, not this again.
I
Not this
do.
again. She did. Oh, they're sending a drone in. A drone? Like an old-fashioned one, or
I
what?
know this is tech from the 80s, but can we sharpen the visuals?
Oh, this is tech from the 80s. This
Working
is
on it.
this is tech from the 80s?
Just like all the jump cuts.
Yeah.
Wanda decides what makes it onto her show and what doesn't.
Yep, she's the editor,
Here we
producer,
go.
director, everything.
You're up.
Yeah. Oh no, red eyes. Oh, red eyes.
My controls aren't working.
Take the shot.
What?
Hmm?
No, the drone isn't armed.
Take the shot.
No, you don't you shoot, Wanda. Oh, Wanda. Oh, damn. Oh.
You can hardly blame us, Wanda.
Oh, I think I can. This will be your only warning.
Oh, the accent's coming back.
Stay out of my home.
You've taken an entire town hostage.
Well, I'm not the one with the guns, Director.
You are the one in control.
Mm. Oh. Oh. Okay. Oh, everything's gone red. The energy field's gone red.
You need Lagos brand paper towels.
Lagos
The most
paper
absorbent
towels.
Paper towel available.
Really? Lagos?
Lagos. For when you make a mess, you didn't mean to.
Screw you, Marvel. Yeah? Screw you. Screw you to hell. Making a joke out of Lagos, out of Wanda's mistakes. Really? Oh, is the dog dead?
Come until I had wrapped him up.
Is the dog dead?
Don't know how many leaves he ate. I didn't
Sparky's
find him until it was
dead!
too late.
Sparky!
Tommy.
You can fix anything, Mom. Fix dead.
No, she's already doing that, honey, and it's already causing enough damage. Yeah.
Norman's a family, Wanda. He has a family, and he can't reach them because you won't let him reach them.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Stop lying to me!
This.
Oh, Jesus.
All of this.
Yeah, this is a whole other level to couples having an argument.
Wonder why are there no other children in Westview?
That is a very good question. Why do Billy and Tommy have no friends?
But what you're doing here, it's wrong. It is wrong.
Oh, who's this now? Is it Agnes? Is this Agnes again? Like a late night? Who is that then? Because then, if she's not doing it, it can't be Agnes. Or could it still be Agnes? What? Who was it? Grey hair? No.
Long lost bro, get to squeeze his stinking sister to death or what?
She recast Pietro?
Evan Peters? Evan Peters
Who's the
Pietro's
pops?
back. Evan Peters. We get Evan Peters.
Oh my god, okay. Oh. Jesus. Wow. That ending was like another level of endings. That was another level of endings. That was insanity. They actually got him in. So I will say, right, I did hear, I think Elizabeth Olsen herself did say that there was going to be a cameo, which I wish she kind of didn't say, because I feel like this would have worked a whole lot better if she had not teased it at all. Like the fact, like she teased it saying that there would be a cameo that would actually be on par with the Luke Skywalker cameo from the last season of The Mandalorian. So I think her saying that, I mean, it does help to build up hype, but at the same time, it's like, you know, cameos. You know, Marvel has proved that cameos are done better when you don't really tease them at all. You just let people experience them for themselves. I feel like, you know, on the one hand, she could have been building up hype for it, and maybe if she was told to, maybe she wasn't. But either way, I feel like that would have worked better. That would have worked better had fans actually been able to go in, like, maybe theorizing a cameo, but not expecting one specifically. So yeah, so I didn't know it would be this episode. Like we're like 5 episodes in. I didn't know it would be this soon. Like she didn't even say like what episode it would be in, like how soon it would be coming. She just said there will be a cameo in this show that will blow people's minds. So I didn't realize it was going to be right here, right now. That is insane. That is insane. But yeah, so yeah, Evan Peters. As soon as I saw the grey hair, I was like, wait, grey, like whitish grey hair. That must be Pietro. But then my mind started racing, thinking, I don't know if they're gonna bring in Evan Peters that quickly, because he's, you know, X-Men's Quicksilver. He's that kind of role. Even though Disney does now own the rights, so they can use it as freely as they want. I was like, you know, is it gonna be Aaron Taylor Johnson? I mean, his hair is like messier and parted and kind of more easily, and yeah, like. Ever since episode 2, I think it was, Disney Plus has, like, you know, like, it recommends you Age of Ultron as soon as you finish watching a WandaVision episode. It just immediately recommends Age of Ultron and stuff. So yeah, I didn't think that they would actually go into bringing Evan Peters' face in so soon. I thought, okay, well, Aaron Taylor Johnson is the one that we recognize as the MCU's Quicksilver. But then, no, it's Evan Peters, and even Darcy watching it is like, wait, she recast Pietro? Like, she actually brought in, like, another face for Pietro? And it's like, it's not a face she would recognize, because she's recognized Aaron's Quicksilver, but, you know, moviegoers and fans will actually recognize, oh, that's Evan Peters' Quicksilver. So, and he doesn't treat her any different either. Like, he still treats her as if she's the one, as if he is the brother that we saw in Age of Ultron. So there's like a recast, but they still kind of maintain that kind of shared memory. So that's like, damn, okay, but that is a mind-blowing ending. That is a mind-blowing ending. That is insane. But Yeah, God, Evan Peters. That is a hell of a way to end the episode. Like, it's like similar to Mandalorian season 2 finale. It's a hell of a way to actually end to end the episode, because this isn't the season finale. So it's a hell of a way to actually end the episode. And yeah, like with Evan Peters, he was American too. He was an American Quicksilver, or at least with like an American accent. So he maintains that, but the dialogue definitely matches up to. From what I caught onto, the dialogue definitely matches onto the Quicksilver that we saw dying in Age of Ultron. So, yeah, gosh, friggity damn it, that is just, wow, Marvel actually had the balls to bring in a Fox kind of cast member that quickly. Yeah, they actually had the balls to bring him in that soon. So, yeah, that is amazing. But yeah, I mean, with the Evan Peters thing, that raises a lot more questions too, as to like, because like, they're not using him as the Quicksilver from Fox's side of Marvel. They're actually using him as the Quicksilver from our side of Marvel, from the MCU. So that raises the question: have they actually, like? I think it kind of feels more like they actually could have recasted him, and they're keeping the history, but it's literally just using like another face winner. Because I think it's a recast. I think it's not like a recast as in like the traditional sense, like they're not using someone else for whatever reason, but they are using another face that's already portrayed Quicksilver that we know of to surprise us, and maybe even to surprise Wanda. Because I think the question is, because like Vision might not recognize him. Well, Vision didn't like. Vision knew Quicksilver. He still met Quicksilver. He still, I think, to my knowledge, he still met Quicksilver. I think, yeah, because they were both at the tower. Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch were both at the tower in Avengers: Age of Ultron. So he should recognize him. But yeah, I think because of the face there too, like because of that, neither Wanda or Vision. I mean, because of the hair, then, and also because Pietro said, he was her brother, like, Wanda then recognized him as Pietro, but with the face, initially, neither of them recognized him, so there's that kind of question, like, only the fans would actually recognize him, having watched both actors play Quicksilver, so then what's the actual trick there? Like, is he actually Pietro? Is he our Pietro just with the other Pietro's face, or is there some kind of multiverse melding type of thing going on? I don't know, but then also that then raises the question of, could they bring in the other Fox actors in a similar way, like especially the X-Men, the rest of the X-Men? Because I think it's undeniable that, that pretty much everyone who's seen all of the X-Men movies kind of appreciates everyone who took part in it, like, Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, though he's done, so they have no choice but to recast them. But like characters like James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender for Magneto and Charles Xavier, people love them. They did a fantastic job with those roles. It's like being the younger ones, they really brought them to life and really connected them. And especially with Days of Future Past, they actually managed to meld those two versions of them together. So there's that question: if they can do this with Pietro, could they go one step further and do that with the X-Men instead of actually recasting them? I mean, recast the ones that you have to, but try and keep the ones that have actually been received positively and have actually had like a positive impact on the roles and stuff like that. And I think, yeah, because again, I don't know if this actually is a crossover. It doesn't really feel like a crossover much as it is just, like, I don't know. Because I feel like if it was a crossover, then there would be obvious differences. Like, because, like, the crossover would mean that the kind of character histories might merge. I mean, we saw like 5 seconds of him. We literally saw 5 seconds of him, and he had like two lines of dialogue, technically. One with the popsicle with Vision, and one with him asking for a hug from Wanda. So I think next episode we're going to get a lot more Quicksilver. Hopefully we're going to get a lot more Pietro and see what happens there. But yeah, I think I think we have to wait and see until next episode to see if this, like, if character histories do merge, or if this is literally just like one face of Pietro, or like one Pietro's body taking over another Pietro's life. Because then the question is going to be raised as to why he has a different face, because Wanda does not recognize this face. Her Vision, her Pietro looks like Aaron Taylor Johnson. So yeah, I don't know. I literally can't handle it. Again, I mean, I'm lucky at least I knew going into this that there would be a cameo at some point in this series, not in this episode, but I don't know if it'll be in this episode again, but like in this series, I was expecting that much. But then actually having Pietro in, because I think Because again, as soon as Elizabeth Olsen's kind of comment went up about a cameo, people started theorizing like that, like thinking who'd come out, like, oh, could it be Quicksilver? Could it be Magneto? Could it be Doctor Strange? Because this is meant to connect into that. Maybe Doctor Strange comes in to send a warning, and he's like, oh, the multiverse is opening or breaking or whatever. But no, it's literally someone from Wanda's personal past, her personal history, comes back in like everything's normal too. So yeah, I think that was also the first kind of hint, the fact that someone was knocking on the door that late at night, and it couldn't have been Agnes because Wanda said she wasn't doing it. So it seems like characters like Agnes show up when Wanda wants them to maintain that ruse of like a normal life and normal neighborly things and stuff, but she didn't do that. So someone else outside of Wanda's vision and field of control was doing that. So then how Pietro came back is also the question. Like, you know, assuming this one has the same character history and he literally died to being riddled with bullets by Ultron, how did he come back? I don't know. Or maybe that's like the whole multiverse thing, like, you know, Pietro comes back, but it's not her Pietro, at least visually. It's literally the alternate universe Pietro taking over the life and history and mind of our Pietro. I don't know. I have no idea. It's Evan Peters. Evan Peters is the Quicksilver we get for this. I mean, well, we don't even know if he's Quicksilver. We don't even. I mean, he'd have to be. He'd kind of have to be. But for now, he is Pietro. For now, he is the reincarnated Pietro Maximoff. And I think even in the X-Men series, he was never Pietro either. He was Peter. He was Peter Maximoff. But here, he's Pietro. So yeah. Gee. Evan Peters, everyone. Marvel really did that. Marvel really freaking did that. They did that. They brought back Evan Peters. But yeah, this episode, right, it was a really, really well done mix of sitcom and drama, I feel. Like, even in the sitcom there was drama. And it was because the drama was bleeding into the sitcom, and Wanda couldn't control all of that stuff. And everything, so it was a really nice mix of that. But even with the sitcom stuff, I think this had to be a Full House parody. Especially with the boys growing up and aging to be twins. I just got, like, you know, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen kind of vibes from that. And even in the intro, we saw like a picture of Elizabeth Olsen that had to be a personal picture from her past, like a picture she took of herself. But without a doubt, the funniest one was us having like pictures of baby Vision, teenage Vision doing like equations on a chalkboard, and him him actually growing up through the ages, like signifying some kind of normal kind of vibranium android birth for Vision, and him growing up through the ages. That was really, really funny. And then like the more seasonal pictures he took of him being the Easter Bunny and different things, and then like Santa Claus and stuff. That was really cool. So that the intros for the WandaVision parodies are really, really cool. They're really well done. And yeah, so this was definitely a Full House parody. So I think that was 80s, right? That was like 80s, like 90s, like late 80s, 90s type of stuff, perhaps. Yeah, should have been. I think it looked close enough to like 2000s to not be from, you know, earlier 80s or early like pre-80s. But I mean, Full House, I didn't grow up with that either. There's very few sitcoms I actually grew up with that were from those. I think the first one I probably grew up with was probably Friends. I'm still kind of, I don't know. I mean, I don't know at what point they're gonna ditch the sitcom stuff completely and then just delve straight back into the classic Marvel drama, or if they're actually gonna touch on any sitcoms before doing that. But I don't know. I don't think so, because at this point they're doing 80s, 90s stuff, and they're already kind of, you know, like allowing the Marvel drama stuff to actually, you know, bleed into the story more and more. So I think at some point, like, you know, they're just going to have to ditch it completely because it's no longer working. Like, even story-wise, Wanda is having less and less control over what's happening, so she can't really maintain the sitcom stuff, because like maintaining it means pretending nothing is going wrong, pretending that nothing is wrong inside or outside of Westview and stuff, and this episode clearly showed otherwise. So yeah, but they've handled the sitcom stuff so well so far, so I'm really kind of glad that they've done that, and I'm really I'm really enjoying how they've been handling it so far, so that's cool. But yeah, that was cool. So Full House parody. And yeah, I think, yeah, like I mentioned it before, Wanda looks great in flannel. Wanda looks good, like flannel, suspenders, the kind of side brushed hair and everything. She looks great. So yeah, they actually did. Hayward did have some top secret kind of sword facility footage of Wanda breaking into a sword facility and stealing Vision's body. So I think that must connect. I mean, that must be like a better version of what happened with the post credit. Like the kind of rumored post credit that Paul Bettany talked about was her literally finding Vision's body in a body bag, and then that kind of hinting towards WandaVision. But with this one, I think this one seems a bit more well executed. It makes a bit more sense. She actually. I don't know if it makes more sense, but I mean, it seems a bit more well executed. She actually stormed a sword facility and then attacked, I guess you could say, attacked the kind of sword members inside and then stole Vision's body. I think from that footage, it looked like Vision's body was separated too. Like his torso was on one table, his head was on another table, and then his arms were in different tables too. So that must mean that like sword members, like humans, must have done that because Thanos never actually harmed him in any way besides from ripping the Soul Stone out. He killed him. Like Thanos took the stone out, crushed his head, and then that killed him. But he never actually went the extra steps of actually dismembering his limbs or anything like that. So that must have been something that people did, which then begs the question, why? Like, because then that must mean that they were doing experiments on him or studying his body post-mortem, but then, that would also be a violation of his will, because he never advocated to donate his body to science upon his death. He never, from what we know of, he never made any kind of agreement like that, so that would be them violating his wishes after his death, and then they had the gall to say that Wanda is using his body against his wishes after his death and stuff. So, yeah, I mean, that was what pissed me off about this episode. I think Hayward, he seemed cool until now, but now he just seems so adamant and determined on painting Wanda as a villain and as a terrorist and everything, and especially as a terrorist, especially investigating her past, bringing her past into this in such a simplistic way too, like, oh, after these protests and everything, like, her and her brother, like, volunteered for Hydra experiments and stuff like that. Like, like, knowing Hydra, they likely would not have actually told them that it was for evil purposes, that it was actually for evil purposes. Like we've seen in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., List and Strucker were actually doing those experiments on enhanced humans in general, like not just people, like, not just giving people powers, but also like, experimenting on Inhumans and stuff, so... his kind of even Jimmy pointed out, like, that's a bit of an oversimplification. It's actually a bit more complex than that, especially knowing Hydra. They are a literal Nazi kind of cult, so they're, like, used to drawing people in and feeding off of their vulnerabilities and stuff. So, and even Stephen Hill saying in Age of Ultron that, they actually volunteered to protect their country, and, like, no one would do that if they knew that the people they were actually working with were evil or planning to do harm with their powers or with these people. So, yeah, like, Hayward just seemed, like, insistent on painting Wanda as a villain, even using Monica's quotes against her, like, it was painful and excruciating and, like, like a violation of her will. Like, even Monica being like, sure, this, like, power-wise, it was harmful, but Wanda is not an inherently evil person. What she is grieving, and especially, like, that's how, like, that's how, like, Monica described her experience too. Like, there was, like, a grief, a pain inside her that was holding her down, and I think that's what links it too. Like, like Wanda has lost it. Like, Wanda lost everything. Like, she even said it to Thanos in Endgame. Like, she lost everything. She lost Pietro. She lost Vision, her family. Like, before all of that. So, she is using, like, her grief is what's powering these actions, these motivations, and stuff like that, and Monica, and, like, she likely identified grief within Monica as well, because Monica was coming in with the thought of her mum having passed away, with the thought of her mum having died in the back of her head, so she identified that grief and then allowed her in, like, you're feeling grief, you're bereaving someone, come in, I can actually give you a home and shelter and give you a new life so that you can ignore all the pain and run away from it and stuff like that. So, that stuff kind of, like, when you look at it from that perspective, it makes more sense. But with Hayward, he's just like, okay, she's taken an entire town hostage, controlling their lives and their minds, and doing all this stuff and brainwashing, so she must be an evil terrorist. Yeah, that's the way to do it. And yeah, it just, I thought he was cool. I thought Hayward was cool, but now we know that he actually is just a guy who's willing to paint very broad strokes with a very, very thick brush. So Yeah, and I think I'd like to address the fact that they haven't yet dubbed her as the Scarlet Witch. Like, even Hayward saying, like, oh, she has no alias, no funny nickname. Like, all of the Avengers have their code names, like Captain America, Iron Man, Black Widow. Like they all have these names, but Wanda has nothing. And then Jimmy's like, nothing we know of. Like, guys, come on. If you can bring in Evan Peters, you can definitely dub Wanda as the Scarlet Witch. She's a witch. She has magical powers. She's red like a scarlet. It's literally right there. It does not take a super genius like Tony or Vision to figure that out. It's literally right there. I was expecting even Darcy to do it, like Darcy to come up with some kind of creative name like Scarlet Witch or something. But no one came up with it. No one came up with it. It's like it's being teased with dialogue all over again. It's being teased with dialogue all over again. But yeah. But yeah, so she so that is what happened. She actually stole Vision's body and reanimated it, and then she went to a town like Westview. I'm wondering exactly what, like, how she actually located it, like how she picked what town to do though, because I can't remember wonder if she actually if maybe she went for like a town with a low population, so maybe something that no one would really notice was missing, or like no one would notice was actually gone. Like I think Jimmy said the population was 3,000 or something, or like something in the thousands, like whether it was single thousands or higher thousands. Like he said it, like some kind of thousand worth population. So I wonder if maybe she didn't want to use all of her because I feel like maybe she could have used like a more deserted town and then created people at will. But maybe she didn't want to use her powers at that capacity just yet. She actually just wanted to take over a town for now, and like she's not really killing those people, but she's understandably violating their will, and especially that scene with Vision and Norm. That scene with Vision and Norm was super duper well done. It was super duper well done. Like Vision, like initially receiving the sword email through the computer and then turning that off, and then actually bringing Norm out of his trance, and then Norm's actor in that scene was incredible too. Like him immediately breaking out of that trance and begging Vision for help and saying that he hasn't contacted his sister or any of his family in days, and he knows that Wanda was the one who did it. Like Wanda is the one actually controlling him and giving him this fake kind of perspective and vision and everything. So yeah, so that is when Vision becomes more sus. That is when Vision becomes more sus of Wanda and her true motivations here. So yeah. And yeah, I gotta say, I love that trio. I love this new trio we've gotten of Monica and Darcy and Jimmy, like them just kind of like investigating with sword, but also kind of like supporting Wanda in their own individual ways. Like Monica being her own Wanda Maximoff stand, being like, we all know it. I'm just gonna say what everyone's thinking. We all know Wanda could have easily dusted Thanos' ass with her own powers if he hadn't called in a blitz. And it's true. That is 100% scientifically accurate, comic bookly accurate, fantastical fact. That is true. That is like anyone who watches that movie, if they don't see it, then they're probably blind. But it is true. Wanda could have easily, Wanda had him on the ropes. Wanda had him on the ropes, dangling by his own feet and his own fingers. And Thanos, being the little coward that he is, he was like, oh, call a rain of fire, forget about the troops, call a rain of fire down, bomb all these people. Had he not done that, Wanda would have finished him off without breaking a single sweat. That is how powerful she is, and Monica states it. Monica, as she should, as is within her freedom of speech power, she states it. I love that they mentioned that too. I love that they actually canonized it, they actually confirmed it, so anyone now who doesn't believe that Wanda is powerful can officially shut the motherfucker up and accept that Wanda is a lot more powerful and a lot more of a powerhouse than people think. And I love that they analyze it they analyze it through her power to mind control an entire village and actually, keep it stable and up and running as well. Like confirming that she's a powerhouse, and then Monica actually referencing it back to her combat levels in Endgame as well. So she definitely is. She definitely is a powerhouse. And yeah, in this house we stand. We stand Wanda Maximoff. We stand Scarlet Witch. Wanda is a powerhouse, and this series, as promised, is going so far as to prove that she is indeed that powerful. So yeah, and I think it's also just great to see how well she's grown. She's gone from simple hex bolts and charms and hallucinations to fully controlling an entire village, and also going literal toe to toe, finger to finger with a mad titan, with the mad titan himself, with Thanos himself. Not many, like I think yeah, like even like they even mentioned that, you know, Captain Marvel is the only one who could actually, you know, do this, like, and she did. She got knocked down, but then she got up again, and then she actually went toe to toe with him. Her headbutt did fuck all. Her headbutt did nothing. And then the only thing that could take Captain Marvel out of the game, even temporarily, was something of equal power to her, which was a Power Stone, which was an Infinity Stone, the Power Stone. So that's that too. So yeah, I love that they confirmed it. I love that they confirmed that Wanda, it really is that powerful. She is that powerful. She really is that powerful, and stuff. And yeah, and I think, yeah, and Monica doesn't want to talk about Captain Marvel. I clocked that too. I was in the middle of geeking out about Wanda's power levels, but she doesn't want to talk about Captain Marvel. She even like specified there, like, okay, but we're not talking about her, we're talking about Wanda. And then even Darcy and Jimmy clocked that, like, oh, she doesn't want to talk about Carol. Her, like, because I think it's like, it's known that she does have a history with Carol. It's known that she does have a history with Carol and with Monica. So no, I mean, it's known that Carol does have a history with Monica and with Maria. So yeah, so then that kind of begs the question: is she holding a grudge? Is she holding a grudge? Like, did she find out that Wanda was absent from Maria's life, maybe for most of the snap, or that she didn't really come back or anything, or what was happening? Because I think it's not unreasonable. It's not perfectly unreasonable. You know, I think it's like, because we haven't had any confirmation as to whether or not Carol did visit her during the snap, because she did survive. Maria did survive the snap, but then she was dying of cancer slowly afterwards. I think that there's been no confirmation or denial as to whether Carol actually visited her at all. But then her holding a grudge could mean that maybe it's because Carol's still up there and she hasn't come down to visit, or maybe she didn't really help Monica when she came back, or something, or maybe she distanced herself too much, or maybe she kind of, I don't know, but either way, I feel like she's holding some kind of grudge. But what's for sure is that she doesn't really want to talk about Carol right now. She feels, you know, a certain ways about her, so that is interesting. That is super duper interesting. So whether or not that gets further fleshed out and developed, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, I'm glad that they confirmed Wanda is a bad biatch. I'm glad they confirmed that at least. So yeah. And especially that scene of Wanda herself exiting the energy field, exiting the dome, the perimeter she set up around Westview, like exiting the dome herself and actually dragging the thing backward. And even more I loved was her wearing her actual original Scarlet Witch suit that she was wearing even from Endgame, like her wearing that suit as she comes around to show this is her, this is Wanda Maximoff, this is the Scarlet Witch, not some character she's kind of playing around with on her own sitcom. This is actually you want Wanda Maximoff, she will give you Wanda Maximoff. So she shot the drone down and she's dragging it back to the sword base and everything, and all the guns are on her, and she's confronting Hayward and stuff. And that scene was also badass. That scene was also very, very badass. You know, like her making it clear that this is their one and only final, like her even saying, like, you know, this is your only warning, consider it, and you know, like, do what's necessary. And even her, like, setting those boundaries down, like, you know, you don't bother me, I don't bother you, just leave me alone. I've, like, you know, she's got everything she wants. Like, even her telling Monica she's got everything she wants already. She has her kids, she has Vision back in some sense of the word. She has, like, a new suburban life that she's loving and living. So that's all she needs and everything. So yeah, and then even her mind controlling all of the all of the armed guards to turn their guns on Hayward as well. Like, that isn't, I mean, it's not going to help her case, but it's badass, so it doesn't really, you know, matter either way. But that was cool. And then even her, I think, I don't know what she did to the field. She actually touched the field before she actually went back in, and she actually turned the entire thing like red, like a scarlet red. So I don't know if that means that they can't send, because like she knows they sent she knows they sent the drone in, and the drone was from the 80s. That caught me off guard. Monica like said, like, you know, how about we actually send something in that, you know, doesn't need changing, because I think anything from the future, or anything from the present day, will be changed to fit the time period that, you know, is inside Westview. So, you know, how about we actually send something that doesn't need changing? So I think apparently they had the thing, the like a drone in the 80s. I mean, it's the MCU, and we had like Howard Stark trying to build hover cars in the 40s. So I think the MCU's with the MCU's timeline of human history and human evolution, there's no telling what kind of technology they could have had in the 80s. So I think like a drone somewhat makes sense. A drone pretty much makes sense. So yeah, So yeah, so they sent that in, and then Wanda knew that that was actually Sword trying to, you know, make communication, and then she actually went out to actually give them a piece of her mind herself. So that was fun, and then yeah, I think she went back in. I think her turning everything red was likely her kind of actually, you know, reinforcing the walls around of Westview and actually making sure that no one could go in anymore and nothing could be sent in anymore. So no more penetration of the walls is going to be happening today. So yeah, but yeah, that was cool too. That was very, very cool, and I think I would have liked to see some sense of peace between her and Monica. I think she didn't turn the guns on Monica. She turned the guns on Hayward, because Hayward was the one who was actively kind of opposing her and actively kind of treating her like an actual present threat, and stuff, which according to his protocols she would be. But yeah, Monica was the one who actually, you know, slowly approached her and tried to actually talk her down from this and actually tried to, you know, get through to her, be diplomatic and everything. So she didn't really turn guns on her. She didn't really kind of threaten her actively in any way, but she did make her stance known. She did make her position known and actually warned them not to interfere with Westview anymore. I can't talk anymore. So yeah, this is insane. This is insane. But that was fun. That was a very, very fun scene, and I think it goes to show that I think more than just power-wise, Wanda is also motivationally a badass. Like she I think now though, she no longer wants to be a hero. She no longer wants to have to save the world. She no longer has to want to like fight people and stuff. She just wants to live a normal life and use her powers to benefit her in that way, but also, you know, like she's also not intentionally harming anyone. She's not intentionally harming anyone. She's not killing anyone, doing any of that stuff. So yeah, she's good. She's still good. She's still good in my book. So yeah. But yeah, that is pretty much all I've picked up from this episode. You know, these episodes are getting crazier and crazier, so these kind of first time viewings are pretty hard to digest the first time round, so I'm definitely gonna have to watch the second time as per usual. But this is insane. This show is getting insane. Marvel is feeding us with weekly content, as they should. They are feeding us, and they are feeding us well. You know, hats off to Elizabeth Olsen too. Like Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany are kind of carrying. I mean, I think I'd argue Elizabeth Olsen more than Paul Bettany, because I think with Vision, he is dead. There is no bringing him back. So the only person bringing him back is Wanda, and Wanda, this being WandaVision, you know, Wanda is the driving force of this. So Elizabeth Olsen herself is actually carrying this show forward and actually pushing through and actually giving us what we need, or especially like the Wanda content that we need. But seeing everyone be a part of this, seeing all the characters actually coming together and actually being a part of the story and unfolding this and helping to uncover Wanda Maximoff as the most powerful Avenger is a treat, and it's a sight to behold. So I honestly can't wait to see how much where we go from here. I don't know how many episodes we actually have. I think we're like episode 5 now. I think I read somewhere that there would be like 9 or 10. I think I read somewhere there would be like there would be a 10th bonus episode, but I don't know how true that is, because it wasn't confirmed by Marvel. There was someone else saying that they heard from someone else that there would be like a 10th bonus episode. So I think if that's not true, then I think there could be like 8 or 9. So we're getting fairly close. That means that there's only like a handful of episodes left, and again, it's only gonna get better. It's only gonna get better from here on out, and then we're gonna see exactly where Wanda goes from here and what her journey is and stuff like that. But yeah, WandaVision is so good now. It's so good, so good. Everyone needs to be watching this and taking this in, and you know, seeing Wanda for the powerful powerhouse that she really is. So yeah, post your theories down below. Let me know what you think, what you thought of the Evan Peters reveal, what you thought of all the drama going on and the sci-fi goodness, and what your theories are for next week's WandaVision. Let me know in the comments, as always. But yeah, that is pretty much all I can think of. If I've missed anything, or if you think I've gotten something wrong, then feel free to correct me in the comments, or feel free to actually let me know what I've missed out on and stuff. So yeah, that is pretty much it. So that was Marvel's WandaVision Season 1 Episode 5. So thank you guys so much, as always, for being here and for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then salt and burn that like button. Comment on what you thought of the episode and what you think is coming up next time on Marvel's WandaVision. Once again, the full-length reaction for this episode will be over on Patreon, so you can go check that out over there. And yeah, that is it. So I will see you guys next time.